Hello, welcome to class today. We're going to be working on the area between the backs of our shoulder blades today, in the upper to middle back. In the yoga philosophy, sometimes the back body, one of my teachers refers to it as the universal, where the front body is referred to as the individual. So it's more about the front body is more specific, it's more individual to ourselves, our particular faces, how we express ourselves, where the back body is a little more neutral, associated with the universal, so our connection to everything. And it's also sometimes said to be associated with our past, so what is behind us as opposed to what's coming in front of us. So in some ways, the back body can be said to represent our collective experience as well as our collective trauma. So in dealing with the back of the heart in particular, which is where we're going to be focusing, can sometimes be symbolically related to the pain of our past, and not only our individual pain of the past, but our collective. So I think this is a really good topic for the current times that we are dealing with. So we're going to use a breath pattern to symbolically clear the space of the heart while working to mobilize the shoulder blades. And the shoulder blades can get kind of sticky if we're not using a full range of motion in our arms, and they can get kind of stuck, and the tissue around the shoulder blade can get contracted, and so we want to loosen that area up a little bit. So that's our focus for today. We're going to start with this heart breath, and those of you who came to Pajama Yoga a few weeks ago may recognize a few of the things in this class, but we'll gradually pick it up and make it into a more active practice. So we're going to place the right hand right on your heart, and then take your left hand and see if you can place it on the back of your heart. And then we'll close the eyes if that's comfortable, or find a particular gazing spot on the floor with soft eyes. And then just beginning to breathe here. And as you inhale, imagine passing the breath from your front hand through your heart to your back hand, and see if you can feel that breath come through to the back hand. And as you exhale, imagine passing the breath back from your back hand to your front hand. Inhale front to back, exhale back to front. And repeat that a few more rounds with the intention of clearing the heart space. Clearing out any heartache that we've been holding on to, personal trauma, collective trauma. So if we're not present for our experiences, they can sort of get stuck and lodged in our bodies and in our minds. We can stay present and allow that feeling to move through us. Perhaps it won't get stuck in our tissues. Slowly release that and just kind of roll the shoulders out a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing but switch the position of the hands. So now left hand in the front of the heart, right hand in the back of the heart, and then breathing here. Passing the breath on the inhale from the front palm to the back palm. And as you exhale from the back palm to the front palm. Breathe with the intention of clearing your heart space. Now we'll try to remember to continue to utilize this breath throughout our practice. The hands won't always be there to remind us, but we can have this imprint of this sensation of breathing from the front to the back and the back to the front. Okay, go ahead and release and just roll it out a little bit again. And then inhale your arms out wide. And as you exhale, let's bring the right arm on top. I'll mirror you. And you're going to try and reach back and get a good handful of your shoulder blades. And then from here, we're going to start to drop the head from one side to the other. And we're going to add a little bit of upper body twist as we do this. So as my head goes right, I'm going to move the arms to the left. And then as my head comes down, arms come center, head over to the left, arms to the right. And then go ahead and continue. Roll the head to the opposite side and let the elbows move, the arms move, the shoulders move to the opposite side. We're getting some movement in the back of the heart here, but also some nice stretching perhaps, for me anyway, in the area of the neck, which is connected to the shoulders. One more each side. And then we'll come back through the center and release the arms. Take a breath. Now let's do the same thing, but put the opposite arm on top. So now left arm on top. Grab a big handful of your shoulder blades as best you can. And then drop the chin, roll the head one side, the elbows go opposite. And then continue rolling the head in a semicircle. And let the elbows and shoulders move to the opposite side. Try to go slowly so that you're not just using momentum here, you're actually feeling what the body is going through here, sensations that come up. And then let's release back to center. And just switch your legs. So opposite leg comes in the front. Even out your sit bones. You're welcome to be sitting up on a blanket if that feels best for you. And then let's take the right arm out to the side and go across the body, hook above the elbow. You're going to pat yourself on the shoulder. And then we're going to start to turn over toward that left side and then pull the right shoulder back. So we get a little resistance here to stretch a little bit into that upper outer shoulder blade. And then reach through the fingertips of that right hand. Good, release. Remember to keep breathing. Take the other arm across, hook, and then turn, twist. Pull back with the left shoulder and reach through the fingertips. We're trying to create resistance, which helps open up those tissues. One more breath. And then release. Good. Hands on top of your shoulders and rotate them around a bit. Good. And then other direction. Circle the other way. And just tuning in to the movement of your shoulder blades, of your arms. Good. And then release that. And I'm just going to show you one more thing. We're going to come onto our backs, but I want to make sure we understand the positioning of the arms. So when I turn my arms in, I get all crunchy here, my shoulders. This is internal rotation of my arms. I'm turning them in toward my body. So that's the opposite of what I'm going to be looking for in a lot of these things we're doing today. I want to do external rotation, where we turn our arms away from the body. The thumbs turn away and the triceps start to rotate up and outward, okay? So this little position, external rotation is what we're looking for, but it's a little more challenging when we have the arms overhead, so it gets confusing. So we take the arms overhead And we think this is external rotation because I'm turning my palms away, but look at my shoulders are all cramped up. So external rotation is actually rotating the pinky fingers inward and lifting them up. Now if I bring my hands down, you'll see that my thumbs are turned out. So that is the external rotation position that we're going to focus on, and it helps to, when I do this, it helps to wrap my shoulder blade around. So I think of it as turning a light bulb or scooping ice cream. So scoop with your hand, and you get this spiral that wraps your shoulder blade and lifts your shoulder blade up. And it creates a good anatomical position. So we're going to work with that in a few things today. So from here, we're going to come onto our backs. And we're going to do a little bit of somatic work before we move into our more active work. So you might wish to have a blanket under your head. That's fine. If you wish, eventually we'll take it out so that we can move a little easier. Bring your knees together and your feet wide. So constructive rest position, and then arms wide on the inhale. Exhale, take your right arm across it over and just give that big shoulder hug again. Feel like you're pulling your shoulder blades apart from each other. So you might even lift up and pull them apart so you feel more open in the back of your heart. Breathing here. One more breath cycle here. And then we're going to switch the arms. So now left arm on top. Big inhale out to the sides. Left arm on top. Grab the backs of your shoulder blades and pull them apart. And breathe. Now come back to breathing from the front of your heart to the back of your heart. Find that heart clearing breath. See if you can feel that breath move to the back of your heart and into the ground. Okay, from here, take your arms directly up toward the ceiling. And we're going to reach. So take one arm and reach it as if you could touch the ceiling. And then the other arm. It's like a pulley. And see if you could feel your shoulder blade move away from your spine. Now, if you're comfortable here, do this with your eyes closed. Get a sense of your shoulder blade moving away from your spine as you try to lift that arm up. Now we're going to take that blanket out from under your head if you still have it. Stretch out into a full body stretch. So we're not so much worried about that arm position just yet. So I'll tell you when we do need it. And now reach one arm and then the other arm. And as you do that, you'll notice as you reach through the right arm and right leg, the left side kind of tightens and shortens a little bit. But I'm getting that big stretch along the lengthening side so that shoulder blade is lifting. So it's lifting up toward the ear, toward the hand. So I'm really getting more space between my rib cage and my hip. One more time. Good, and then relax. From here, we're going to bend the knees. And now we're going to work with that arm rotation a little bit. So watch or listen for this first round. We're going to have the feet as wide as the mat. Okay? And then I'm going to be dropping my right knee in as I reach through my right arm. Now here's where I've got to find that external rotation. So I'm going to rotate my pinky finger in toward my head. And I'm going to roll and push off into this foot and reach as I turn and spin my pinky finger down. and then release. So we might get a better visual on the other side, so watch again, and then we'll do it a few rounds together. So feet are wide. I'm going to take my left arm overhead, drop my left knee over to the right, rotate my palm in, so my pinky and my palm are turning toward the floor, and I reach, reach, reach. And then roll back to the start. Okay, so we're going to alternate side to side. Drop the right arm in, right leg in, reach through the right arm, rotate your torso. Roll your hand down toward the floor, my pinky scooping down. And then release. And again, other side. Roll over, stretch. So also getting a stretch through the back of the straight arm shoulder blade. So this is stretching the back of the tissue here. I also feel it right in through my hip, this big spiral of the tissue on the side body. One more on each side. Roll over. That arm comes by your ear. Rotate the pinky down. And at the same time you reach. And then other side. Last time, roll. And reach, reach, reach. Come back through the center. Let your arms and legs come down for a moment. Have a breath or two and just feel that reverberation of the work you just did throughout your side body. All right, let's bring knees into the chest, give them a good squeeze. And then we're gonna roll over to the side and come on up into tabletop pose, all fours. So one more thing really quickly. So our fascia can get these like kinks in it, or we can think of it as knots. So if I take my shirt and I bunch it up, like I'm gonna tie it in a knot, you can see how the pull comes from all different areas, right? So pull is coming from top, bottom, sides, and then I've got this like contraction here. So it's like a knot in the tissue. So that can happen in our bodies when we have particular areas of tension, tightness, and that pulling might not hurt right here. It might hurt somewhere over here because that tissue is shifting the bones out of alignment. And so this can happen in this tissue in the back of our shoulder blades, in the back of our neck. We might get these knots. And we feel them. We feel these knots in our upper back. You know, when we're on the ground, we might feel that tension. So we're trying to work some of that out today. So go ahead and come into tabletop if you are not there. We'll do a few cat-cows, but I'd like to really emphasize the exhale. Really emphasize the spreading of your shoulder blades apart as you come into this position. So inhale, look up. Exhale, push down through your hands, around your spine, spread your shoulder blades apart from each other. And then reverse. Inhale, let the shoulder blades come towards each other. Exhale, they spread apart. As your head drops, your tail drops. One more time. Inhale, look up, arch your back. Exhale, push down, round. Now stay here. In cat pose, press down through your shins, your feet, your palms. Lift your back toward the sky. Protract and spread your shoulder blades apart. And now push down and apart with your hands. Breathe from the front of the heart to the back. One more. Good, and then release. And we'll take the knees apart and move back into a child's pose. Alright, next pose is thread the needle pose. We're going to add on a little extra self-adjustment today. I'm going to face forward. So you can see me. Tabletop pose. Let's take the right arm out to the side. Inhale, I'm gonna mirror you. Exhale, slide it through. And then press into this left hand. Try to get that shoulder through all the way. And then if you're stable here, take your left palm on top of your right forearm and push away. So you might want to watch. Push that arm away and roll your chest open. And then breathe from the front of your heart to the back of your heart. Now you can stay here or step your left leg out to the side. Maybe hold the foot and continue to push your forearm away. Roll your chest open. You might rotate that bottom shin a little bit for counterbalance. Turning your head up. And then breathe between your shoulder blades. Clear out the heart space. Slide your hand down that forearm. You get that nice traction. And now slowly release. We're going to step the foot back in if you moved it out. And carefully come back through the center. Take an inhale, exhale, round your spine, spread your shoulder blades, push into the floor. And then inhale back to neutral and we'll do the other side. Inhale your left arm out, exhale, slide it through. Try to get that arm all the way through. So push into your hand, slide it through, and then hand onto the forearm if you're steady. And push, push, push through that arm. Breathe into the space behind your shoulder blades. Now you can stay right there or step this foot out to the side. You might hold onto your foot or your toe and then push into that forearm, turn your chest. And let the shin rotate a little bit so that you have a counterbalance. Turn your head up and then breathe into the space behind your shoulder blades. See if you can notice your shoulder blade, the bottom one, moving away from your spine. And slowly release, bring your foot back in, back to the start. Inhale, exhale, round your spine, push into the floor, spread your shoulder blades apart. Okay. Back to tabletop pose. You might wish to have blocks for this next sequence. So I'll grab them to show. Some of you don't really need them, so that's fine. So hands on the blocks, step your right foot forward. And then inhale, let's reach the arms up into a lunge. I'm going to bring my right hand down onto my thigh for a moment. Take my left arm, reach it up, up, up with that external rotation. Turn your pinky finger in, and then drop your hand behind the back of your heart. Breathing here. And then we're going to take that other hand, hold onto the elbow. Inhale, elbows lift up. Exhale into a side bend over to your right. Keep your head back towards your arms. Breathe here into the side body. Keep lifting through your elbow. Good, and then inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step back and other side. Step forward. Eventually we're going to add on to this sequence. So from here, inhale, reach the arms up. Left hand on the thigh. Right arm reaches up into that external rotation. Pinky spirals in towards your body. and then hand behind the back of your heart. Hold the elbow. Inhale, the elbows lift up, lengthen from hip all the way up to your elbow, and then side bend. Hug your inner thighs in for stability. Lifting through that elbow. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back. And then inhale, reach the arms all the way out and up. Interlace your palms, press the palms up. Tailbone draws down. One more breath. And then release your arms. From here, tabletop pose again, but we'll take the hands slightly forward. Setting up for down dog. Hands are turned out just a hair. So we're in that external rotation. So rotate your elbows in a little bit so they start to face towards each other or even a little forward. Tuck your toes, hip creases back, and then launch up into your down dog. And you're going to have a little bend in your knees here so we can lift the sit bones and feel like you're firming your upper arms in so you get that same feeling of that external rotation. And then pedal one knee, then the other, bending and straightening. Plug your hands strongly into the ground, especially your thumb and your index finger. Shake out your head, yes or no. So I'm going to mirror you so I can be facing you. I'm going to take right leg up. Inhale. Exhale, step through to that lunge, drop the back knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Take the left hand behind your back. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, side bend. Over to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Tuck the back toes, lift that knee. Spiral that heel down and cartwheel your arms up into a warrior two. Now, warrior two, we're going to have the chest squaring toward the long edge of your mat. Deep bend in your front knee, root into the outer edge of the back foot, and then arms float up. Good. Looking over your right fingertips, lifting your chest. Spread wide through the arms. Now as we inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, bring the hands to the heart. Exhale, back into the pose. Now let's repeat that. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Holding here, find that heart clearing breath from the front of your heart to the back of your heart. One more breath. And then cartwheel your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Okay, so from your down dog, this time inhale into plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Push in your hands. You can drop your knees if you wish. And we're going to take a heart clearing breath. Inhale to the back of the heart, exhale to the front of the heart. One more. And then we'll all lower down and come through a cobra. So lower down, hands by your chest, elbows in. Inhale, lift up. And then while you're here, let's take that heart clearing breath. So keep the elbows a little bent, not straight, a little bent and hugging in. Breathe from front of the heart to back and back to front. One more. And then release, come back to your downward facing dog. I'm just gonna fix my mat sliding here again. All right, let's try the other side. So I'm gonna flip so I don't have my back to you. You're gonna do the same thing that you did before, not following me. No, you don't have to flip. Okay, inhale, left leg up this time. Step through, drop that back knee, and then inhale, reach your arms out and out. Okay. So now left leg is forward, the right hand tucks behind the back of the heart. Lift those elbows up and side bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Somehow I messed up. I'm going to be facing you if I don't switch back to facing you. Tuck the back toes, spin the back heel down. Rise up into your warrior two. I hope you got it right. So you should have your left leg forward. And then from here, squaring the chest toward the long edge of your mat. Good. Now inhale, straighten the leg, hands to the heart. Exhale, reach out. Get a little deeper into that front knee each time. Inhale to the heart. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now hold 3 counts of breath from the front to the back as you inhale, back to front as you exhale. One more. And then from here, cartwheel your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, hold, push the floor away, option to drop your knees, heart clearing breath. One more. And then lower down slowly. Tops of the feet press, inhale, cobra pose. Breathe through the heart space. One more, elbows are a little bent. Gaze is neutral. And release. Press it up and back, downward facing dog once again. Alright, so from here, go ahead, walk your feet forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward over your leg. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and up. Exhale, lower your hands to your heart. Good. Okay, we're going to come to face the center of the mat. We're going to repeat some of those things, but now we're just going to go from side to side. So step your feet apart wide, and we're going to add on. So hands on your hips, root through your legs. Keep your chest nice and lifted and open. Breathing from the front of the heart to the back of the heart. Coming into warrior two, so spin that right leg out so the toes face the short edge of your mat. And then you're going to turn your left toes in and widen that back heel, bending into your front knee. Turn your chest to face toward me, arms out. Okay, inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. From here, bring your hands onto your hips. Tip your pelvis. So you're going to tip so that you don't change the side body. I don't want this curving. Keep lengthening. Right? So if you keep your hands here, remind yourself not to curve your bottom ribs so much. Keep the ribs lifting, and then place your hand on your forearm. Or, I'm sorry, place your forearm on your thigh. Take your top hand. Roll the top rib cage back. Good. And now we're gonna kind of bring this hand in, like in front of your shoulder, and then shoot it out, like an arrow. Shoot it out, and you're gonna spin that pinky finger. I'm gonna shift a little bit so you can see my arm. You're gonna spin that pinky finger down toward the floor, so we're in that external rotation. You should feel your shoulder blade wrap around. Good. Reach, reach, reach through that top arm. And if you want to deepen, bring your hand down onto your ankle. Get a long line from your back foot through your top fingers. Reach even more. And then rise up, warrior two. Straighten that front leg, parallel your feet. Have a breath here. And then we'll do the other side. Turn your left toes to face the short edge of your mat. Spin the other heel out a little wide, and then bend that knee. So the reason for that back foot adjustment, it helps keep our SI joint a little bit more open, and it allows us to keep this knee a little bit more in line with the toes. So if I keep this back, my knee tends to go this way. So keep this rolling a little forward, bending deeper. Good. Inhale, hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time, bending a little deeper into that front knee, but don't roll onto the big toe side. Keep that pinky toe side sealed in the back foot. And keep that grounded. And then from here, hands to your hips or your side waist, tip. Keeping length on the side body, and then forearm onto the thigh. And don't collapse here. Press down so your chest stays lifted. Take your top hand, rotate the rib cage back. And really seal into the pinky edge of that back foot. Hand here by your chest, and then shoot it out over your ear, spinning that pinky finger downward. And then I'm gonna really reach down through this back leg, seal into the pinky edge of my foot, and then stretch long through the top arm as I spin that pinky finger. Maybe deepening by bringing your hand downward. You can use a block as well. Pull the tailbone in, pull the belly in, and reach, reach, reach. Good. Inhale, come back up, and straighten that leg. Holding here for a moment. We're going to take a forward bend and a twist next. So make sure your feet are parallel to each other or even slightly turned in. That might feel more stable. We're going to have a little bend in the knees so that when we hinge forward, we're not going to round our backs. We're going to hinge from the hip creases. And then bring your hands to the floor. Now if the floor is far away, grab a block or two and come up as high as you need to on that block, okay? So I'm gonna lose it, but if you need it, hold it there. Now, to take the twist, I'm gonna walk over to my left and see if I can hold on to my shin, my foot, my ankle, wherever I can. And if you can't, you'll get as close as you can. Now from here, bring that left hand onto the hip and turn open. Now if you can, move the hand up onto your shin. Maybe that arm can reach up. And you're going to fold toward that leg and kind of pull that left shin away. So I'm going to pull the left shin toward the left, which will help me get into my back, into my shoulder blade. I might even bend this opposite knee a little bit, get a little deeper, or I might bend the left knee. See if that feels better for you. I like both straight. Good, and release. Coming back through the center, we'll try that on the other side. Have a breath. Good. Now from here, I'm going to walk it over, see if you can grab onto your foot, or your ankle of the right leg with your left hand. Maybe even bring it up a little higher. can always stay right here, resisting that shin toward the right. And you kind of pull away. Now if you're steady here, bring that hand to the hip or your sacrum and turn. Maybe take that arm up. Maybe bend the knee. Either knee, if it feels better for you. I'm going to keep them straight. You can notice what's going on in your upper back. Find your heart breath. Good, release. Hands come down. Heel toe the feet in just enough that you can feel stable. Bend your knees, hands to hips. Root down through your feet and slowly come back up. Good. Pause here. Have a breath. Okay. We're going to do one more position here. Step those feet apart wide again. Toes or feet are parallel or toes in just a little bit. Inhale the arms out wide. We're going to take the right arm on top, starting with the shoulder hug. Pull your shoulder blades apart, lift your chest. And we're going to take eagle pose, so intertwine your arms, maybe even your hands, so they're double twisted. And then bend the knees a little bit. Inhale, lift up into a little back bend. Exhale, fold forward. And now we'll breathe into that upper back. Now you might bend your right knee and sweep over to the right. Bend your left knee, sweep over to the left. And just go back and forth. And then back through center. Maybe the forearms come toward the floor. Squeeze the arms together and breathe into your heart space. Now bend the knees a little bit, press in your feet, rise up. Little back bend. Unwind your arms and pause. Have a breath. Good. And do the other side. Inhale the arms out wide. Left arm swings on top for a shoulder hug. Palms come back to back or face to face. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Make sure that your hips don't go way back behind your heels. So you want to keep your hips kind of in line with your heels. And then a bending of each knee to sway side to side. And if this is too much, you can let go of the arms and just do the sway, or just do the arms. Come back through center. Maybe those forearms come toward the floor. Try not to pitch your hips back behind your ankles. Lift your sit bones upward. Breathe into the heart, back of the heart. And then bend your knees. Push into your feet, rise up, little back bend. And release. Unwind your arms, heel toe, your feet back in, and just shake it out a little bit. All right, roll your shoulders out. We're going to come down into a seated position. Actually, let's do one thing before we come into a seat. We're going to do a back bend. So come onto your back. And this is really good for getting those knots out of the upper back. We're going to take the arms out wide. And then take your right arm on top for that shoulder hug. Pull the shoulder blades apart. And then we lift the hips off the ground so the weight comes into the upper back. And then we're going to roll side to side or circle and see if you can massage out some of those knots in the upper back. the arms. So inhale wide, left arm on top, pull the shoulder blades apart, lift your hips up as high as they'll go. Get onto those tops of the shoulder blades and then roll side to side. If you find a really sore spot, you could kind of hang out there and just wiggle and move around a little bit. I feel like I've got a little knot on the back of my right shoulder blade, so I'm going to rock into it a little bit. And then continue to move around, finding those knots. And then release, relax the arms. Full breath in and out. All right, so from here, we're gonna roll to the side and come on up. Now we'll come into the seat or the twist. Okay. So perhaps grabbing a folded blanket to sit on. Especially if you tend to round your lower back. You want to give yourself some height. Now I'm going to tuck my right heel close to my left sit bone. And then this foot can step right in front. I'm going to hug the shin back to help me lift the chest. This is stage 1. Stage 2, I'm going to try and cross the foot over the right knee. And then again, sit up tall. I'm going to press down into the feet to help propel the chest upward. And draw the shoulders back, breathing into that heart space. Okay, so now we're going to take it into the twist. So take your left arm, reach it up nice and high with that external rotation, and then take it onto the floor behind you. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, turn. So we're turning over toward the left, and I'm going to push my right hand and my left shin into each other as I turn. Then I'm going to bend the elbows and pull the elbows apart, which opens the chest and the back. Now find the heart breath. From the front of the heart to the back of the heart to the front. One more. Okay, so you're either going to stay here or go further. Now reach the other arm up, right arm up, 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 and cross it past your knee. So now we've gone into a deeper version. If that's too much, stay where you were. And we're going to have 3 more breaths. And you're going to press your arm and leg into each other. Press down into the feet, and then pull your elbows apart. Find your heart breath. Try to wrap your left rib cage around to the back and your right rib cage around to the front. Good. Inhale, unwind back to the start. Lean back. Stretch your legs out for a moment and give them a little wiggle, a little bounce. And then we're going to try the other side. So now, bring the left heel toward the right sit bone. Stage 1, you'll stay right here. No need to go further if this is already challenging for you. Otherwise, cross it over. Try to have that front knee pointing straight ahead. Pull back, lift your chest. Find your heart breath. We want to make sure also that the ribs aren't popping to lift the chest, but go straight up rather than into an arc. Okay, now right arm reaches up, spin that pinky finger in and lift your shoulder blade up, up, up. Then reach back, hand onto the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, exhale, turn. Press your hand and shin into each other. Bend your elbows toward the sides and find your heart breath for 3 breaths. Maybe even bringing to mind a particular heartache, something that is stored in your body that you would like to clear and release. stay with this for 3 more breaths, or reach that left arm up, 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 rotate, lift, and then cross. Good, and then press arm and leg into each other. Press the feet down. Lift through the crown of your head and pull your elbows apart. Breathe from the front of the heart to the back. After your 3rd breath, inhale and unwind back through center. Uncross your legs, stretch them out, give a little wiggle and a little bounce. Okay. From here, 2 choices. You can either do a straight leg forward fold or a bound ankle forward fold. We're going to start out by really lengthening. So your choice. If you want to do this one, you might want to have a little bend in your knees so that we make sure we're hinging at the hips. I'm going to show this one. Inhale, lift up. And as you lift through the crown of your head, pull the shoulder blades down your back. Really lift the back of your skull. Try not to pop your rib cage. Hold for another breath. And then slowly starting to hinge forward, right here from the hips. So we're not changing anything in the spine. And you're only going to come as far as it feels comfortable for you. Once you're there, you can let your head lower a little bit so it's a little softer. And then find your heart breath. As you inhale, feel that opening into the back of the heart space. We're going to stay here for about 5 more breaths. As you stay here for 5 more breaths, I'm just share a little quote with you. So this is from Nawang Kichong. We use only 5 to 10% of our heart's capacity to love and feel kindness. Instead of boxing in our hearts, we must try to slowly expand that box until we're able to love all of humanity. So feel that expansion of the back of the heart, which relates to that universal principle, our connection to all others. And breathe. 1 more breath. All right. Slowly starting to come up. Use your hands to draw your legs up. And then we're going to come onto our backs. Perhaps having that blanket underneath your head again. If you want to have anything nearby for your Shavasana, feel free to grab it. And then knees into your chest, a little rock side to side. So this is a shorter practice today. Had some requests for some shorter ones. So we're going to be doing just a couple more things and then having our final rest. Feet wide. Let's do the typewriter today. So arms up and hold opposite elbows. Try to reach your elbows up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to drop the knees to the right and your arms and head to the left. And then just hold here and feel gravity pull the arms over toward the left. A little bit of a stretch again into that back of the shoulder blade. Another breath here. And give a little gentle traction. And then release. Coming back up. Drop the knees to the left, arms to the right. So the legs get heavy and the arms get heavy in opposite directions. So it's a bit of a twist. And you're using the arms here like gravity pulling, traction. You might even give a gentle pull with this top arm. Maybe playing with the level of your arms might give you a different sensation. Even resist that shoulder back a little bit, see how that feels. One more breath. And then release. Now we're just going to go side to side. Side to side slowly. And back to the center. Give your knees a hug into the chest and rock a little bit side to side. Coming into a happy baby from here, either holding behind your knees, your ankles, or hold the pinky edges of your feet. The knees go wide, so wider than your body. Shins as best you can up and down, so perpendicular to the floor. Pull the tailbone down, pull the shoulders down. Find your heart breath. Two more rounds of breath. Great, and then bring your knees in, hug them into your chest one more time. And then release your feet down. So actually we'll do a particular setup for Shavasana. So I just thought of this. So we're going to come over to our side, and you'll need 2 blankets. So I'm going to take one blanket. We call this kind of the neutral blanket. This is how it would come off a pile if it were at a yoga studio. And we're going to make it into a trifold. So fold it over and then over again. So it's now 1/3 of the size that it was. And then your second blanket or a pillow would work for your head. Put that there. Now, if you want, you could also put a 3rd blanket or pillow or bolster under your knees. So I'll grab my bolster, I'll show that. And if you wish, you could skip that. I'm going to throw my legs right over the props there. And then sitting back, lengthening as I go. So here's another tip, scoot your tailbone forward, then come down. This will ease your lower back a bit. And then pull that blanket in underneath your head, but not your shoulders. And you'll feel this draping of your spine over this trifold blanket. The arms come down, find your heart breath. Breathe from the front of the heart. See if you can feel the softness of the blanket. Support the back of your heart. And then as you exhale from the back of the heart to the front of the heart. And then gradually let go of particular manipulation of the breath. Just settle into this space of the back body, the universal, this connection to all things, all people. Letting the front body, this individual part of the self, rest. Letting the front self, that individual self, rest toward the back body. So almost as if our individual self were held and cradled and supported by the collective. rest into the arms of the collective, knowing that you're safe, knowing that you're supported, that you can let your heart be soft and open. And let the back of the heart rest. Now you stay where you are. I'm going to come up to finish guiding you. And of course, you could stay in Shavasana as long as you wish. So continue to really let yourself sink and soak into your bones. Let yourself fall back into the arms of the collective. With every breath cycle, feeling yourself fall back and be supported and held, nourished. Letting the breath get softer and softer, more and more internal. And then eventually, a sense of merging the individual and the collective as one. For the sake of time, I'm going to be closing, and rather than bring you out of Shavasana, so I'd like you to take more time to rest if it's available to you. If you wish to come out, you can do so at any time. Otherwise, give yourself a few more minutes to stay here, to rest. I'm going to sign off, bringing my hands to my heart, and I thank you for your time, for your attention, for your dedication to your practice. Namaste. Great, continuing to rest, everyone.